toes under, push your seat back to your heels, lift your knees up, come into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and connect to your Ujjayi breath, your upward victorious breath. Inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, lift your hips up toward the wall behind you. Exhale 3, inhale. So you want to be a V shape instead of a bridge. Exhale 4, so lift your hips up. There you go. Inhale. Exhale 5, inhale. Exhale 6, inhale. Exhale 7, inhale. Exhale 8, inhale. Exhale 9, inhale. Exhale 10. Now just gently come out to a plank pose. Exhale the knees, the chest, the chin to the floor, Ashtanga Namaskar. Inhale, point the toes, slide forward up into a cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, push your seat back to the heels, lift your knees up. Come back down dog. Inhale. Exhale, soften your knees and just slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Keep your feet hips width distance apart, your hands 6 to 8 inches in front of your feet, and just press your palms down. Now, if your hands lift up, just place blocks underneath your hands so you can make that connection both with hands and feet. Look at what your feet are doing. Try to lift up at your inner ankle bones a little bit so that you're actually like kind of putting equal weight through the both sides of the feet, all 4 corners of the feet. Exhale 1, inhale. Exhale 2, inhale. Exhale 3, inhale. Exhale 4, inhale. Exhale 5, inhale. Exhale 6, inhale. Exhale 7, inhale. Exhale 8, inhale. Exhale 9, inhale. Exhale 10. Now soften your knees and heel toe your feet out as wide as the mat. Your heels will be on the mat, your toes will be on the floor, and come down to a squatting position. Bring your hands together in prayer. Press out with your forearms as you squeeze in with your knees. Try to lift up at your sternum a little bit. So lift your chin parallel to the earth and try to gaze out the window at the rooftop of the building across the street. Exhale 1, inhale. Exhale 2, inhale. Exhale 3, inhale. Exhale 4, inhale. Exhale 5, inhale. Exhale 6, inhale. Exhale 7, inhale. Exhale 8, inhale. Exhale 9, inhale. Exhale 10. Now just place your hands on the floor. Come sit down and come sit on a couple of blankets. So Lynn and Todd are with us tonight. It was always a pleasure having them here. And you just want to make yourself comfortable for a minute. You can sit in Sukhasana, you can sit in Virasana, you can sit in Lotus, you can sit in Bhadrasana, whatever you wish to sit in. And turn to page 14 of your Jivamukti book. And we're going to chant from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras tonight. So, 3 ohms. Om. 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 So we're going to chant Yoga Sutra, Chapter 1, Number 1, and we're going to chant Yoga Sutra, Chapter 1, Number 2, which is the focus of the month. That's what David focused on. So I'm going to chant it all the way through because these are short sutras. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Good. Together. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Now look at number 2. Yogesh Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Together. Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Now I'm going to put them both together. Atha yoga anushasanam yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Your turn. Atha yoga anushasanam yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Again. Atha yoga anushasanam Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. One more time. Atha yoga nushasanam Yogashchitta vritti nirodha. Om. So I pretty much know everybody. But I always ask this, how many people are unfamiliar with the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali? Maybe you've never read them, never heard of them, or unsure what it is. Just raise your hand if that's the case. I always think you should know what you're chanting, you know. So Patanjali was a sage that lived about the same time as Buddha, we think. And he wrote the first How to Achieve Yoga book. That's all it is. It's a how-to book. It's like a cookbook. Right? It's not, and what's interesting about Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is it was not a secular book. It was not. He had no particular denomination that he was attached to. So if you looked on the internet at Amazon and looked up Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, you'll probably, I think last time someone checked, I heard that there were 500 different interpretations of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, because you can find Buddhist interpretations, you can find Shivite interpretations, you can find New Age interpretations. The way he wrote, he left it very open to interpretation, because a sutra is just a stitch. So it's not a full sentence. It's just a group of words linked together. And then what would happen is we would do, like if we were living in ancient times, we would do exactly what we just did. We would chant this, and then we would have a discussion about it. And it was open for interpretation. So the teacher would say, this is the interpretation, but you might pick up on something. You say, well, I think this, or what about this? And you would actually discuss it. It would be an open discussion, an intellectual discussion. And so, and that's even why here in the Jivamukti chant book, there's a full sentence of what David and Sharon have interpreted this as, right? So David focused on Yoga Sutra chapter 1, verse 2, for the focus of the month, which is artificial intelligence. And so what do you think, just blurt out words, what do you think of when I say intelligence? Smart, what else? Conscious, what else? Intelligence. Wisdom. Okay, that all sounds good. So what do you think, what comes to mind when I say artificial? Not good. Corn sweetener, like, right, fake, not real. Huh? Not human, not natural. So all those are like, that's what happens when we say those two words. And that's what David's essay is about. Can artificial intelligence have consciousness? And what is consciousness? And which, that's all Patanjali was trying to get people to understand, is consciousness. Where does consciousness come from, and what is consciousness? So he starts his book out in a very specific way. Atha means now. Yoga is the understanding of consciousness, or the understanding of the higher self, and that union with the higher self. Then anushasanam, anushasanam, because the word separated, the A is pronounced, but when yoga and the anushasanam come together, the second A is silent, so we sing it nushasanam, because it's a sandhi. uh, Nushasana means I have observed this. I have witnessed this. This is what I've seen. And so the interpretation of that by David Life and Sharon Gannon is now this is yoga as I've observed it in the natural world. In the natural world. And that's a very specific interpretation that David and Sharon have interpreted that as, because they said, well, if he's observed it, what has he observed it in? He didn't. This guy lived, 3,000 years ago. He didn't observe it in a laboratory. He was sitting on a rock in the Himalayas, and he observed consciousness within nature and the natural structure of the universe, which now here's where it gets a little complicated. Patanjali is a dualistic system. Does everybody know what dualism is? Raise your hand if you are unfamiliar with that word dualism and what that may mean. So dualism, there's two different philosophies in yoga. One is dualism, the other is non-dualism. And Patanjali was a dualist, meaning that consciousness of the self, like there is the consciousness of you, that you stand in the mirror every morning and you recognize yourself and you see yourself as an ego wrapped in a skin, right? And you think, oh, there's Austin, he looks good today. And that's one sense of consciousness. But then the second sense, and everybody has that consciousness once you look into the mirror. It's an identification with the lower self, with the ego. But then there's the identification with the higher self, our divinity, and the idea was that Prakriti and Purusha are separate, and Prakriti keeps you from understanding Purusha, which is the higher self, and you have to do these practices of yoga to cleanse the body, to cleanse the ego, to cleanse the mind, and find that higher self. So he says, now yoga observations, now meaning it's urgent, yoga union with the higher self, and here's how you do it. Then he goes down to the second one. He goes, yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. Yoga, union with the higher self. Chitta, the mind, or the Buddha, the intelligence of the mind. Vritti, fluctuations, swirlings. Nirodha, to try to end, stop, or cease. So that's literally what that means. And that has been interpreted by Sharon Gannon and David Life as when you stop identifying with your thoughts, the fluctuations of the mind, then there is yoga, identification with the self in a capital letter, which is samadhi, happiness, bliss, and ecstasy. So that, and I started thinking about this idea of artificial intelligence, right? So the mind or the intellect is really what keeps us from understanding the higher self, because our mind and these fluctuations that our mind has, these swirlings, the anger, the emotions, it keeps us from focusing on that source of consciousness. And Patanjali says, okay, look, you have a mind, you have a body. You're not the mind, you're not the body. But to get to understand that higher self, you got to calm down these emotions that you're having, the anger, the jealousy, the fear, the rage, and you've got to connect with something that's blissful. And you got to see outside of your own body. But at the same time, you're seeing that blissfulness through the lens of Prakriti, or nature. And that is the only way you can see it, because you're here in the body. Now, non-dualism, which is what these two yoga rooms are named after. There's the Shiva Tandava and there is the Krishna Lila. And this was a system that said, no. God and nature are one and the same. It's a play or a dance, and you are only experiencing God through nature so that you can know the higher self, but they're not separated. But if you just tried to know the self in one day, as soon as you came out of your mother's womb, it would just be too much for you. So God puts you in this surrounding where you're experiencing pain and joy and suffering and love and compassion, and there's all these things that are happening, and actually they're all how you're supposed to come about understanding the higher self, but there's no separation there. They're one and the same. It's just the flip side of the same coin. So either way you want to approach this, it's fine. But then when we start talking about artificial intelligence, like humans are putting information and feeding concepts and ideas to computers, which we hope will raise consciousness and be more intelligent than we are. We can only put in what we know. So you can only put in through seeing through the lens of nature. You can't put in something that you don't fully understand. The thing about whether it's Prakriti and Purusha, or Maya, you could also call it, the Vedas also called it Maya, or whether it's the dance with Krishna or the dance of Shiva and the play between them, you're still only experiencing this thing through the lens of nature. And so they have already said that. I've observed this in nature. You can't give a computer a sense of supreme universal consciousness, superconsciousness. There is no way, because most of us have no idea what that is. We haven't experienced that. So how can you give something you haven't experienced? Now, the fear has always been that computers will get so conscious that they will surpass our ability. And because they are unnatural, they will become super conscious and wipe us out. Of course, this is science fiction's like fantasy, right? This is Westworld. This is Battlestar Galactica. This is Terminator. These are all of these. That's what these fantasies are. That this fear that you will give consciousness to something that isn't of nature, and it will supersede nature. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But what we can say is that whichever system you're looking at, either dualism or non-dualism, it is saying that you're combining two things and trying to understand them. So my question is, can a computer help us understand higher consciousness? Because it's still, in a weird way, of the natural world, because we created it in the natural world. Maybe it's not so artificial. How can something be created in the natural world and be unnatural? And what you end up with is more riddles than answers, right? It's a riddle, but life has always been a riddle. If the mystery of life had been solved, Patanjali would have solved it 3,000 years, and we wouldn't be sitting here, right? There would be no sense, the use of all this. So the riddle of life just kind of goes on and on and on. And we'll just have to watch it unfold. But what I do say is that yoga and the teachings of yoga get you to question the labels you put on things, right? Those labels I asked you. What do you think of intelligence? What do you think of artificial? Is artificial really bad? Is it all corn syrup? Is intelligence always good? Isn't it sometimes blissful to be naive, right? That's why I was, just blissfully unaware. I don't know. Fold up your chant books, pass them down to this side of the room. I'll pick them up, and come stand up at the front of your mat into Dasana mountain seat. Big toes and heels touch, hands by the side of the body. Gaze is at the horizon. And just take a moment, bring your hands together in prayer. And as you bring your hands together in prayer, close your eyes and be thankful for the body that you are in. Be thankful for the opportunity you have been given to know the higher self. Yoga is the only practice I know of where it says, know the self. Know the self. You are not the body. You are not the mind. Both dualism and non-dualism teaches that. You are not the body. You are not the mind. You have a body. You have a mind. Make good use of the body and the mind while you're in the body and the mind. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. On your inhale, take the prayer hand overhead, see the prayer, Urdhva Exhale, fold over your straight legs, Uttanasana, press palms into earth or blocks. Inhale, lift the head and chest, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, hold. Inhale. Exhale, 1, so lift your hips up. Inhale. Exhale, 2, push your heart back toward your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold over the straight legs. Inhale, press into the feet, rise up, extend the arms, see the prayer. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. On your inhale, take the prayer hand overhead, see the prayer, Urdhva. Exhale, fold over the straight legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift head and chest, Adva Uttanasana. Exhale, step, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale. Exhale, quadriceps are active. Inhale. Exhale, navel moves towards spine. Inhale. Exhale, heart toward thighs. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold over the straight legs. Inhale, rise up, extend the arms, see the prayer. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. One more time like that. On your inhale, take the prayer hand overhead, see prayer. Exhale, fold over the straight legs, Uttanasana, press palms into earth. Inhale, lengthen spine, prepare. Exhale, step, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, move forward and up, gaze at the ceiling. Exhale, downward facing dog, gaze at the navel. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold over the straight legs. Inhale, press into feet, rise up, extend the arms, see the prayer. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. Jivamukti Surya Namaskar. On your inhale, hook your thumbs, reach up and arch back. Exhale, bend your knees, sweep your arms behind the back, clasp hands together in a fist, straighten the arms and legs. Inhale, bend the knees, place hands down next to feet, step right leg back to a lunge and look up. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips. Inhale, come out to a plank pose, look forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, gaze at the ceiling. Exhale, downward dog, gaze at the navel. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to floor. Inhale, point toes, slide forward into cobra. Exhale, tuck toes under, push the seat back to the heels, lift the knees up, downward facing dog. On your inhale, step right foot forward in between hands. Exhale, left foot forward next to right, fold over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, hook the thumbs in front of you, stand up, straighten your legs, arch back. Exhale, bend your knees, sweep your arms behind your back, clasp hands together in a fist, straighten arms and legs. Inhale, bend knees, place hands down next to feet, step left leg back to a lunge and look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come out to a plank pose, gazes forward. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to floor. Inhale, tuck toes, cobra. Exhale, tuck toes under, push seat back to heels, lift knees up, downward facing dog. On your inhale, step the left foot forward in between hands. Exhale, right foot forward next to left and fold over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, hook the thumbs in front of you, stand up, straighten the legs and arch back. Exhale, hands by the side to Dasana mountain seat. On your inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana awkward chair seat. Exhale, place hands on floor, extend the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift head and chest, prepare. Exhale, step, jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step right foot forward, turn left heel down, come up Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hands down to the earth, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, step left foot forward, turn right heel down, come up Warrior 1. Exhale, hands down to earth, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, hold. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past the hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold over the straight legs. Inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair seat. Exhale, come stand up to Dasana mountain seat. On your inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair. Exhale, place hands on floor, extend the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift head and chest, prepare. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step right foot forward, turn left heel down, come up Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, extend your right leg. Inhale, open arms and hips to the left. Inhale, reach forward to the right. Place the right hand on the right shin with a straight right leg. Exhale, lift the left arm up. Gaze at the left thumb, triangle Trikonasana. Continue to breathe, lengthening the tailbone. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift your torso up. Your arms are parallel to the earth. Exhale, reverse the triangle. Take the left hand down the left thigh. Gaze into the right palm. Lengthen through the rib cage. Try not to turn it into a twist. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Lean back, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift your torso up. Your arms are parallel to the earth. Exhale, bend the right knee. Place the right hand inside your right foot. Then exhale, lift your left arm straight up. One straight line from wrist to wrist. So point your left fingertips toward the ceiling. Then move your shoulders back toward the wall behind you, pulling your right hip crease back. Exhale, 1. Good. Extended angle B. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Pull the lower ribs in. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Press into your feet on your inhale. Lift up, extending your right leg. Straighten. Then exhale, bend your right knee and gaze at your right index finger, Warrior 2. Shoulders are over the hips. Inhale. Exhale, try to pull your heels toward each other. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, extend your right leg again. Exhale, bend your right knee. Place your right hand outside your right foot. Then inhale, extend your left arm alongside your left ear, pointing your left fingertips toward the windows. Now gaze into your left palm. As you gaze into your left palm, lift your left armpit up. Exhale, 1. Try not to collapse. Exhale, 2. If your right hand is not on the floor fully, place your hand on a block. Exhale, 3, good. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, gently place your left hand down. Turn your left heel to face the ceiling. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, step the left foot forward, turn the right heel down, come up Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, extend your left leg. Inhale, open arms and hips to the right side of the room. Try not to move the feet. Reach forward to the left. Place the left hand on the left shin. Exhale, reach the right arm up. Gaze at your right thumb, lengthening the tailbone, trying to pull the ribs into the body. Exhale, 1. As if you're being pressed between 2 panes of glass. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift the torso up. The arms are parallel to the earth and dynamic. Exhale, reversed triangle. Take the right hand down the right thigh. Lengthen through the left side of the rib cage. Exhale, 1. Make space where you think there is no space. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift the torso up. Arms are parallel to the earth. Exhale, bend the left knee. Place left hand inside the left foot. Exhale, reach the right arm straight up. Move the left shoulder into the left knee. Inhale. Exhale, push through the outside of your right foot. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Press into the feet. Come stand up, extending the left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee. Warrior 2. Gaze at the left index finger. Exhale, 1. Inhale, shoulders over hips. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, pull the heels toward each other energetically. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee. Place left hand inside left foot this time. Exhale, extend the right arm alongside the right ear toward the windows. Look into your right palm as you extend. Good. Exhale, 1. Yes, you're right. On the outside. I'm sorry, guys. You should have the hand on the outside of the foot. Exhale, 2. My mistake. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Try to lift the right armpit up a bit. Exhale, 4. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, gently place your right hand on the floor. Exhale, turn the right heel to face ceiling. Step back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, come out to a plank pose. Bring your big toes and heels to touch. Then exhale onto the right hand, the outside of the right foot. Lift your left arm up, just as if you're in Tadasana, right? So you're not bending knees, but the feet are flexed, and you've just shifted consciousness a little bit. It's still Tadasana. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, gently come out to a plank. Then exhale onto the left hand, the outside of the left foot. Stack your feet like Tadasana. Lift your hips up. Lengthen through both sides of the body. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Okay. Inhale, gently come out to a plank. And exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, slide forward and up into Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck your toes under, push the seat back to your heels, lift your knees up, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold completely over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair seat. Exhale, come stand up, Tadasana, mountain seat. On your inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair. Then exhale, bring your hands together in prayer and twist over to the right. Bring your left armpit on the outside of your right knee. Take a moment and really think about how you're going to get that left armpit on the outside of your right thigh. Now, look at your knees. Consciously look at your knees. Is your left knee in front of the right? If so, pull your left hip crease back, getting your knees in line with each other. So left knee shouldn't be in front of right. Sit lower in your seat. Now, place your left hand on the floor block outside your right foot. Now, you want to keep your left arm on the outside of your right thigh. That did not mean all of a sudden that your left arm bounced out in front of your right knee. Now, shift weight into your right foot. Step the left foot back as far as possible. Good. Now, push through your left heel, strong left leg. On your inhale, extend your right arm alongside your right ear. Point your right fingertips toward the windows and look up into your right palm. So as you look up into your right palm, try to find that swirling energy from the back of your left foot to the tip of your right finger. Exhale, 1. Good. Now lift your hip up a little bit. Exhale, 2. Now push through the back. Exhale, 3. Good. Inhale. Notice how that just opened everything up more. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Now inhale, step your left foot forward next to the right. Be conscious of coming in and out of things. Exhale, come back to a twist. Bring your hands together in a prayer. Awkward twist, right? Inhale, come back to center. Utkatasana, awkward chair. Then exhale, come stand up. Tadasana. On your inhale, bend your knees. Utkatasana, awkward chair seat. Then exhale, bring hands together in prayer and twist over to the left, right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Awkward twist. Now, same thing. You're going to get your right arm on the outside of your left thigh. Don't rush in and out of things. Consciousness, we don't rush. Then look at your knees. Look at that right knee in front of the left. Now, why would you rush if that isn't happening, right? Now sit lower in your seat. Now place your right hand on the floor outside your left foot. Then step your right leg back into a lunge. Push through your right heel. Lift your right knee joint up a little bit. Lift your hips up by lifting up your knee joint. Extend your left arm alongside your left ear and look in your left palm. So you see how like you're dropping here? Lift up by pushing. Then as you push, twist and gaze into the left hand. Exhale, 1. Keep pulling the left hip back. Exhale, 2. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Now inhale, step the right foot forward next to the left. And just consciously come back into awkward twist. Bring your hands together in prayer, keeping the knees together. On your inhale, come back to center, Utkatasana, awkward chair seat. Exhale, come stand up, Tandasana, mountain seat. So when we rush in and out of the sequence of asana, we're breaking the vinyasa krama, or that sense of one connective, intelligent thing leads to another, which leads us to consciousness. We're trying to take a shortcut, right? Try not to take shortcuts. Consciousness does not come with shortcuts. Remember, Buddha sat under a tree how many days before he was completely aware of his consciousness? Years. On your inhale, soften your knees and step your left foot back about one of your legs' length, about 2 to 3 feet. Keep your hips and your chest squared off toward the windows. On your inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your left ear. Make space through the left side of your body. Now exhale, fold forward halfway and then twist. Bring your left arm across your right thigh. Place your left hand on the floor block outside your right foot. Ground down through your left hand. On your inhale, lift your right arm straight up and look up at your right thumb. As you look up at your right thumb, try to pull your right shoulder toward the windows and your right hip back toward the wall behind you. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Now look down at your right foot. Press into your feet. Come stand up. Bring your left arm alongside your left ear. Then exhale, step your left foot forward next to the right to Tadasana, mountain seat. Good. Soften your knees. Step your right leg back about 2.5 to 3 feet. Keep the hips and the shoulders squared off toward the windows. On your inhale, lift your right arm alongside your right ear. Then exhale, fold forward halfway. Then twist, and as you twist, bring your right arm in front of your left thigh. Get your right elbow on the outside of your left thigh. Then place your right hand down on the outside of your left foot using a block. Then lift your left arm up. Now, as you lift your left arm up, move your left hip back and your left shoulder toward the windows. Open up your chest toward the left side of the room. Exhale, 1. Inhale, be steady in your feet. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 5. Now look down at your left big toe. Press into your feet. Consciously lift up from the earth. And then exhale, step your right foot forward next to the left to Tadasana mountain seat. Good. Take your hands to your hips again. Stay in the middle of your mat. It's much easier, I think. Soften your knees and step your left foot back about 2.5 to 3 feet, keeping your hips squared off toward the front of the room. So see how you just opened up your hip? Go back to Tadasana. This one, you're not lining the heel and the inner step up like Warrior One. Soften your knees, step your left foot back 2.5 to 3 feet. Keep this foot on hips width distance. Go over with it. Go over with it. Go over with it. Now, good. Now, take your hands behind your back. Come into a secret prayer. Or you can hold onto the fist behind your back, or you can push knuckles into knuckles, whatever you prefer. But you want to keep the hips square. You don't want to be twisted in everything. Inhale, lift your head and chest. They used to teach it that way back in the olden days. And then exhale, fold forward over your extended right leg. Now, as you fold forward over your extended right leg, press into your right big toe mound and push through the back of your left thigh. Keep the hips squared off and keep pulling the right hip crease back and the left hip crease forward. Try not to twist to the left side of the room. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Now listen. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, lift your head and chest halfway so that your torso is parallel to the floor. Now, gaze through your eyebrows toward the window. So lift your head up a little bit. Now, bend the right knee. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Lift your left heel off the floor. On your inhale, lift your left foot off the floor, straightening your right leg and flexing your left foot. Gaze through your eyebrows, Warrior 3 variation. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Pull your left toes toward the windows. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift your torso up. Bring your left foot next to the right. And exhale, release the secret prayer, or your knuckles to knuckles, and just roll out your shoulders. Good. Now take your hands to your hips. Soften your knees. Step your right foot back, straight back, about 2.5 to 3 feet. Keeping the hips and the shoulders squared off toward the windows. So you don't want to twist the trunk, or it's going to make it harder to come into Warrior 3. Then take your hands behind your back in a secret prayer, knuckles to knuckles, or you can hold onto the fist, whichever you prefer. Now lift up and arch back a bit, and then exhale, fold forward over your extended left leg. As you fold forward, press into your left big toe mound, push through the back of your right thigh. Lift your left quadricep up towards your thigh and ground down in your right heel. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift your head and chest halfway. Now, just gaze through your eyebrows. Look up toward the windows through your eyebrows. Bend your left knee. Come onto the ball of your right foot. Lift your right heel up. Then on your inhale, lift your right foot off the floor, straightening your left leg. Now pull your right toes toward the windows, flexing the right foot. Exhale, 1. Gaze through the eyebrows. Exhale, 2. Good, everybody. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale, lift your torso up. Bring the right foot next to the left. And then exhale, release the secret prayer and roll out your shoulders. Good. Now, does everybody have a belt? Yes or no? Tell me if you don't have a belt. Okay. From here, I want you to bend your right knee into your chest. Okay? Bend your right. I'm sorry, Darren. I didn't hear you say. Bend your right knee into your chest. You'll only need to grab a belt if you cannot come into the bind. First, just have the belt nearby. Bend your right knee into your chest, okay? And we're going to just see where we go. I'll tell you when you need the belt. Then open up your right knee to the right side and bring your left heel in front of your right heel in front of your left hip. So open up your knee to the side. Don't put your foot here, but put your heel in front of your hip. Yes. Coming into a half lotus. Now, in half lotus, in a standing position, the next thing you want to do is bring your knees as close as you can together, shutting down the lotus. From here, if you can, take your right hand behind you and hold on to your right big toe. If that ain't happening for you tonight, that's what the belt is for. So now you know that you need the belt. So once you come into the half lotus, you're going to wrap the belt around the front of your right foot. Then you're going to take the belt in your left hand. Then you're going to reach behind you and you're going to put your fingertips of your right hand in the elbow crease of your left arm, which pulls everything a little closer together. Now don't fall. Stay steady. So instead of holding here, what I want you to do, hold on with the left hand, take your right hand, put your fingers in your elbow crease. Good. Now, press into your left foot, lift your shoulders up. Now, if you can, fold forward as much as possible. If you can, if you're not using a belt, you can put your left hand on the floor as you fold forward. Good. Good. Exhale 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Good, Nicole. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Good. Now just press into your foot and lift up consciously. Good. Exhale here. Inhale, release your right big toe. Bring your right knee forward. Give your right knee a hug. And then put your right foot on the floor. Good. So lotus is difficult. It's a pretty extreme outward rotation. But whenever you come into it, what you want to make sure is that it's about consciously thinking of things, right? Not jamming your knee into it. So that on a very superficial level, our bodies are nothing more than mimicking universal consciousness, right? We can jam our body into something and be just, like I said at the top of class, an ego in a skin-covered sausage looking in the mirror, or we can start to really think about those little bitty tiny details of how to do something which brings a sense of higher consciousness, all those steps. So try it on the other side. Bend your left knee into your chest. Give your left knee a hug. That helps open up the hip. Then hold on to your left foot and bring your left heel on your right hip. Now, you're going to start to drop your left knee joint. But then you want to try to bring the knees together as close as possible instead of having the knee out here. Because that bringing the knees together gets your heel on the outside of your hip so you can reach around. Good, Darren. Now, second thing, you can then take your right hand, hold on to the top of the left foot, or you can take the belt and hold on to the left foot. Take your right hand, put it in your elbow crease, holding on. So what I would suggest to, don't worry about that hand. Use this hand. Hold here. Listen to what I'm saying. Hold here. There. That's all. Now you're stable again. Now, fold forward in that half lotus. Your left fingertips are in the elbow crease of your right arm. It's okay if they're there. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Good, everybody. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, lift up by pressing into your foot. Good. Then bring your knee forward, give it a hug. And then place the foot on the floor. Good. And to shake it out. Good. Good. Come back to the front of your mat, standing in Tadasana, mountain seat. And bring your big toes to touch, your heels to touch. Okay? So consciousness is actually, it starts at the very foundation of our existence. And the reason why we get big toes and heels to touch is you're completely bringing the right and left side together in a mudra. It's not about physical alignment. This is a mudra of bringing Purusha and Prakriti together, uniting the left and the right side of the body. In Hatha Yoga, the sun and the moon, the feminine energy, the masculine energy. It's understanding that they're one and the same. So you start with your feet, the first thing that touches the earth. Bring your hands together in prayer. Now rise high on the balls of your feet. Lift your heels up as if you're in 9-inch high heel shoes. Lift your heels up as high as possible. Notice if you press your inner heels together, you don't wobble. If the heels come apart, all of a sudden you wobble like back and forth. So press your inner heels together. Keep pressing your inner heels together. And as you press the heels together, start to bend your knees and to send your seat towards your lifted heels. Keep your spine upright. Keep your shoulders over your hips so you're not leaning one way or the other. And then as your seat touches your heels, open up your knees and place your hands on the floor underneath your shoulders. Now lift your hips up and bring your knees into your armpits, or bring your knees on the outside of your upper arm bones. Squeeze your knees and arms. Then bend your elbows straight back like chaturanga. Start to lean forward. Look forward toward the windows. Look through your eyebrows just like you did in Warrior 3. Lift your toes off the floor and bring your toes to touch. If you can, try to straighten your arms, Bakasana crow pose. Good, everybody. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Now, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look through your hands. On your inhale, shoot your legs through your hands, extending your legs out in front of you, coming and sitting down. Good for you. Good. Now extend your legs straight out in front of you. Paschimottanasana first. Flex your feet, lift your head and chest, and exhale, fold forward. Hold on to the outside of your feet. Now, if you can't reach your feet or you have to bend your knees a lot, use your belt. So that belt is an arm extension for you, right? Belts, I don't teach Iyengar yoga, but Iyengar, who was a great yoga master, he created 900 props for yoga. Yoga belts, yoga blocks, yoga mats, all were created by Iyengar. And he created yoga props so that you would have a deeper experience, so that you could touch that sense of consciousness of what does it feel like to reach out and grab the outside of my feet. So it doesn't mean you're lesser than when you use a yoga prop. You're actually becoming more conscious. It's much more sophisticated to use a yoga prop than not a yoga prop, because all of a sudden you understand what the ultimate goal is. The ultimate goal is to be able to have that connection between hands and feet, because once the hands are on the feet, then there's actually energy moving through the body. The hands are just kind of floating in midair in Paschimottanasana. There's not much energy happening, right? Now pull your toes back toward you instead of pointing your toes toward the window. Try to pull your toes back. Now, focus on your little baby toe out to the side. Try to pull that little baby toe toward the outside of your hip. Oh, there you go. Become conscious of what that does to the outside of the hip. Good. And then lift your head and chest up. And exhale, hands by the hips, Dandasana, staff seat. Good. On your inhale, bend your right knee into your chest. Exhale, open up your right knee. Place your right foot on the inside of your left thigh. Good. Now, twist your torso over your left leg. Let's put a blanket under there instead of that block. That block is just not going to give anywhere. Like, yeah, that's just hard. That just hurts. And then fold forward over your extended left leg. Now, as you fold forward, consciously try to roll your right hip back. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Inhale. Lift your head and chest up as you lift your right knee up. Now, place your right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Keep your left leg extended. Just step that right foot over. Good. Now, lift your left arm up. Make space through the left side of your body. And then twist over to the right. Now, as you twist, you're going to keep the sit bones even, and you're going to press your right big toe down. Exhale, 1. Inhale. So see this right big press down. Notice what that does to the hip. Oh my God, right? Now move your right hand closer to your right hip. And bring your left elbow on the outside of your right thigh. So you're not leaning back in a lazy boy lounge. You're setting up nice and tall, and you're pulling this foot back. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Pull this hip down. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Now come back to center and then counter twist. Twist over to the left. Keep the spine long. Don't lean. Twist. Then come back to center and take your hand and scoop up your right ankle. Now, gently place your right heel on the outside of your left hip. So place your right heel on the outside of your left hip. There. Now try to pull your right heel as far over to the outside of your right hip. Try to bring the knees together. There you go. Yep. Now, if you can, take your right arm behind you. Hold on to your right top of the right foot with your right hand. Or you can take that belt again and put the belt around the top of your right foot. And then take your right hand and put it in the elbow crease of your left arm. Don't hold onto the belt with the right hand. Hold onto the belt with the left hand. Then take your right hand, hold onto the elbow crease. Now look forward and then keep the hips and chest squared. Keep the knees coming together. Then exhale, fold forward over the shins, coming into a half lotus. Good. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 2. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Good. Inhale. Look what your left foot is doing. There. Exhale, 5. Good. Now inhale. Lift your head and chest up. Release your right foot. Bend your right knee into your chest. Give your right knee a hug. Just lift your right knee up. Give it a hug. Open up the hip. And then extend the right leg out in front of you. All right. Bend your left knee into your chest. Open up your left knee. Place your left foot on the inside of your right thigh. Then flex your right foot. Lift your head and chest. And exhale, fold forward over your right leg. Good. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Good. Exhale, 2. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Now lift your left knee up. Then place your left foot on the outside of your right thigh. Good. Step the foot over. So a lot of times what happens too, in a vinyasa, sometimes you only get 5 breaths, right? So we're not going there yet. Remember Adva Matsyendrasana first. Then lift your right arm up and then twist over to the left. Bring your right elbow on the outside of your left thigh. Take your left hand behind you and look over your left shoulder. Good. Now pull these toes back toward you. Activate the hamstring and the quad. Exhale, 1. Good. Much better. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale, counter twist. Inhale, come back to center. Just take your hands, scoop your left heel up, and pull your left heel to the outside of the right hip. Now, when the heel is against the hip, look at what the knees are doing. Bring the knees closer together. Shimmy the knees closer together, which is going to bring the foot higher on the hip. Then reach back with your left hand. Try to grab your left hand back first. Try to grab your left foot with your left hand. Sharon, go the other way. There you go. Now, if that's not happening, take the belt, put the belt around the left foot, bring the left foot back with the right hand. Then take your left hand, put it in the elbow crease of your right arm. Then flex your feet, and then exhale, fold forward over your shins. For those of you who are using a belt and using both hands, you won't be able to hold onto the foot. That's fine. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. And inhale. Lift your head and chest up, releasing the right foot. Lift your left knee up. Give your left knee a hug. And extend the left leg out in front of you. Okay. For most people, full lotus is very difficult, right? But when we talk about enlightened beings, saints and rishis and great yogis who have reached enlightenment, they've just reached higher consciousness is all it is. That's what enlightenment means. You understand cosmic consciousness. And you always see them sitting in a full lotus position for some reason. I don't know why. So there's a connection between that idea of the higher self and lotus. So we're going to try a full lotus after all of that. So what you're going to do is first you're going to bend your right knee into your chest. And you're going to open up your right knee to the right side, and you're going to put your right heel as high as you can on your left hip. Now, the key is take your right hand to your right thigh and gently rotate that right thigh down toward the floor to the right. Don't push, Brian, but take the hand and rotate the thigh. Feel the muscle opening up. Notice how that just did something different than just pushing straight down. Now, for a lot of people, you may not come into a full lotus tonight. That's perfectly fine. Half lotus is also perfectly fine. If you can, bend your left knee and then open up your left knee. Place your left heel on your right hip, or place your left ankle underneath your right knee, coming into a half lotus. Good. But your left thigh, do the same thing. Just take your right hand to your left thigh and just rotate that flesh down and out to the side, which is going to open and relax the hips. Good. Now, the bind, if you're in full lotus, first take your left hand. Take your right hand. Take your left hand behind you. Grab your left foot with your left hand. Go left first. Then take your right hand. So go left hand, grab left foot because it's the furthest away. Then take your right hand, go back, grab your right big toe. Yeah. Now lift up tall. Let's set up nice and tall. Good. And then exhale, fold forward. Good. Good, good, good. Beautiful. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Good. Exhale 5. And inhale, lift up. Now, don't come out of your lotus so quickly. Don't come out of your lotus so quickly, right? Don't rush out of enlightenment, right? Take your hands onto blocks just slightly in front of your shins, okay? Blocks are really good for this, especially if you have a heavy behind like me. I like to have a little more height. Then press into your hands and lift your seat off the floor, levitate. And then give a little rock, give a little roll, and jump back into chaturanga, extending your legs straight back as you jump back. Good. Inhale up, let the legs go. Let the legs go. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Good. Inhale, come out to a plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Good. Now, point your toes, slide forward into cobra. And hold cobra. Lift your hands off the floor and squeeze your legs together. Exhale, 1. So take your hands off the floor. Push your toes down and lift up at your sternum a bit. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, gently come down. Bring your forehead to the earth and rock out your hips. Good. Bring your forehead to the floor. Bend your knees. Reach back. Grab the ankles. Dhanurasana bow seat. On your inhale, kick your feet into your hands. Lift your thighs off the floor, bringing your knees as high as the shoulders. Dhanurasana or bow. Exhale, 1. So kick your feet back toward the wall behind you. Exhale, 2. Hold on to the feet. Kick your feet into your hands. Exhale, 1. So lift your body up. Use some Shakti. Exhale, 2. Lift up. Exhale, 3. Now I'm going to let go. You keep up. Exhale, 4. Yeah. Inhale. Exhale, gently come down. Release. Rock out your hips. Bring your hands by your chest, your elbows close to your ribs. On your inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. Inhale, bring your knees to rest behind your wrist crease and lift your torso up. Okay? Coming onto your shins with your knees hips width distance apart. Good. Now everybody take a block, place a block behind you, and put the ball of your foot on that block. See how I'm doing? My toes are tucked under and the ball of my foot is holding the block there. Good. Then lift your torso back up. Notice how your heels are a little bit higher. Take your hands to your waist and lengthen through your pubic bones. Start to arch back and gently place your hands on your heels. Then let your head go back and keep pushing the pubic bone forward, lifting your torso up, coming into camel. Exhale, 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. And inhale, lift up, leading with both shoulders. Good. Then move your feet off the block. Bring your feet out to the side walls and come sit down on the block in Virasana, hero seat. Good. Gentle twist here. Take your hand over to the left thigh, take your left hand over to the right thigh. Take your right hand behind you, just twisting over to the right. Exhale, 1. Try to keep the knees together as you do this. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, come back to center. Take your right hand to your left thigh, twist over to the left. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Good. Now inhale, come back to center. Place your hands on the floor. Lift your hips up. Step back, downward dog. On your inhale, come out to a plank pose. All the way through chaturanga onto your abdomen. Come all the way down. No down, up dog, just all the way down. Good. Now roll over onto your backs. Bend your knees. You should be able to tickle your heels with your fingertips. Your feet are hips width distance apart, parallel. On your inhale, lift your hips, your lower your middle back. Clasp your hands together in a fist underneath you. Roll your shoulder blades toward each other, coming into half bridge or Setu Bandha Asana. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Bring your feet apart. Exhale 3. Doesn't that feel better? Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now release your hands. Gently come down the middle back, the lower back, and the hips. From here, you can stay in Setu Bandha Asana. Or if you want to experience upward bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana, place the hands by your ears, your fingertips toward your shoulders, your elbows toward the ceiling. So palms are flat on the floor, fingertips, palms are flat on the floor, fingertips toward your shoulder, elbows toward the ceiling. Yeah. Now, on your inhale, press into your hands and your feet and lift your body off the floor, upward bow. Head, chest, hips. Exhale 1. Good. Inhale. Exhale 2. Good, everybody. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the chin into the chest. The upper, the middle, the lower back. Good. So even in a yoga class, all of these asanas that we've done, they're related to nature. There are trees, there are mountains, there's flowers, there's birds, saints and rishis, deities. So everything, even in an asana class, is relating back to nature. It's mimicking nature. You can't get away from nature. Have you noticed that? Even you like think, oh, I live in Jersey City. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, hips width distance apart, place your hands by your ears. On your inhale, lift up for your second upward bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana. You live in Jersey City and you think, oh, I live in a big city. There's no nature around here. Well, if you just go outside to Newark Avenue, there's nature everywhere. There's little birds. There's grass growing up in between the sidewalk. There's weeds. There's trees. You can't get away from nature. Can't get away from it. Bring your chin into your chest and come down the upper, the middle, the lower back. You know, you do. You just think, oh, I'm going to go to the big city. I won't have any deal with nature at all. It's nothing but nature. Bugs. I have a family of raccoons that live in my backyard. And they are natural. They like to eat cat food. Place your hands by your ears. Third and last one. On your inhale, lift everything up. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now bring your chin into your chest and gently come down, the upper, the middle, the lower back. Bend your knees into your chest. So part of that observation was what led to non-dualism, right? By the time we get to Hatha Yoga is not that old, right? It wasn't an old system. About 2,000 years old, maybe. They don't really know, but about 2,000. People were saying, look, you can't get away from nature. Nature's everywhere. Why would the divine be separate from nature? In fact, we should be mimicking nature, and then by mimicking nature, we'll be able to find higher consciousness through the natural process of understanding nature. All right. Bring your knees over to the left. Extend your right arm out, gazing over your right shoulder, twisting. And that was a big switch, right? Because all of a sudden what happened then was people really did. They started fleeing from the cities. They left the cities in India and they went to the wilderness, to the mountains. They abandoned a lot of the cities, especially those that wanted to seek enlightenment. That's why when you hear about yogis, Himalayan yogis, they don't want to be in the city anymore. They want to be as close to nature as they can. On your inhale, come back to center. And then bring your knees over to the right side. Extend your left arm out, gaze over your left shoulder. But then there's some people like myself that, we feel like we have a duty or dharma, and we have to stay in the city, right? This is where I'm doing my work. This is where I'm doing the best good. So we also have to learn to accept that there's nature all around us, and we have to see nature. And then we see divinity within nature. And then we try to mimic nature even though we're living in a city made of asphalt and concrete. Come back to center, bring your knees into your chest, give your knees a hug. Now, from here, place your hands on the floor next to your hips. Bring your legs overhead into Halasana plow seat. Let your toes touch the floor behind your head. You can even bend your knees to get your knees onto your forehead, getting your hips up a little bit. Then clasp your hands together in a fist. Move your shoulder blades a little closer together. Then place your hands on your back. Don't go that way. Then bend your knees, lift your knees up, and extend your legs. Good, good, good. Good. Coming into shoulder stand. All supported limb seat. Salamba Sarvangasana. Now, from here, we're going to do a sequence that I like, okay? So first, bring your heels together and turn your toes out to the side walls like position 1 in ballet. Keep your legs extended, keep your feet together, rope, keep your knees straight. Oh, position 1. Then, stay here, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, exhale 5. Now bend your knees and bring your feet together in a prayer position. Keep your knees in a diamond shape. See a diamond there. Exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, inhale, exhale 3, inhale, exhale 4, inhale, exhale 5. Now take your hands off your back and put your hands in the middle of your thigh, just above your knee joint, and balance on your shoulders. Yeah, put your hands up there. Extend your arms. Keep your feet together in a prayer position. Keep your feet together in a diamond shape. Bring your hands on now extend your arms. Balance. Put your hands here on your thighs. Extend your arms. Keep the feet together with your hands on your thighs. Your hands on the thighs, extend your arms. Keep the feet together, making a diamond shape, balancing on your shoulders. By pressing your hands into your thighs, you create some tension, which allows you to balance. Exhale 1. Does that make sense? Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now bring your knees together. Bring your knees together. Keep your hands. Now extend your legs. Take your legs overhead. Reach back. Grab your big toes. Grab your big toes with your hands. Good. 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 Now bring your legs together. Good. Now lift up through the back of your knee joint. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now keep a hold of your big toes. Lift your head up a little bit. Start to rock forward toward the exit door. Come on your sit bones, holding onto your toes, extend your legs out in front of you, halasana plow seat. I'm sorry, boat seat. Navasana. Come into Navasana. So let your hips roll down. Lift your torso up, following your legs. Come onto your sit bones, extend your legs out in front of you. Good. Exhale, 1, good. Exhale, 2, good. Inhale. Exhale, lower down all the way onto your back. Good. Matsyendrasana fish. Turn your palms to face upward. Press into your elbows. Puff up the chest. Come onto the top of your head. Fish. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 6. Inhale. Exhale, 7. Inhale. Exhale, 8. Inhale. Exhale, 9. Inhale. Exhale, 10. Press into your elbows. Bring your chin into your chest. Bend your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins and gently roll over to the left side. Make your way into a child's pose, preparing for Salamba Shirshasana, supported head seat. If you have a headstand practice, please come up. If you're working on headstand, interlace your fingers together. Place the head on the floor. Bring your elbows closer to your ears. Walk your feet forward. And then lift your knees up. Keep walking your feet forward. I'm going to show you how we do this here, because I don't want you to put your head on something that's going to be soft and squishy and move. You can do it like this. Come into that position with your forearms on the floor. Now, all you're going to do is put that there, and then that way, it's a sling, but your forearms are on the sticky mat. Does that make sense? Now put your head right here. Now, lift your knees up. Good. Now, if this is new to you, come into child's pose, okay? Interlace your fingers together, and then put your head right here. Now, just lift your knees up. And walk your feet forward and try to straighten your legs. Walk your feet forward a little bit. You're not going to come up fully today. Walk your feet toward the windows. Keep your head there, but walk your feet toward my hands. Straighten your legs. You're on your knees. Put your feet on the ground. Walk your feet forward, lifting your knees up and lifting your hips and butt up. Good. Stay here. It's an inversion. But what I want you to do is I want you to push into your forearms and try to move your shoulders away from your ears. Don't drop down to your knees. Stay with your knees lifted. Build some strength and endurance. So you can't do it like that. You can do it. You can do it by making a sling and putting it across your forearms. Do your hands. Now, wait. Don't rush so much. Put this here. Now put your head there. Now that's fine. All right. Last 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Now try to come down without making a sound. Just slowly come down. Rest in a child's pose. Good. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Lift your torso up. Come lay down with your head toward the windows, your feet toward the exit door. So everybody's energy is moving in the same direction. Turn your palms to face upward. Allow your breath to breathe the body, letting go of the Ujjayi breath. Relax at the pelvic floor, letting go of Mula Bandha. And so this seat of the corpse is bringing consciousness to the fact that you're not the body, you're not the mind. You have a body, you have a mind, and at some point you will have to give back the rent-a-vehicle that you've rented. It's not permanent. And no matter which tradition that you focused on for yoga philosophy, whether it be dualism or non-dualism, all yoga traditions lead to this moment. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. Gently start to deepen your breath. And by means of the breath, start to make small movements with the fingers, the toes, bringing consciousness back into the body. Stretch the arms overhead. And stretch the arms and legs in opposite directions. Bend your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And gently roll over to the right side. Pressing your left palm into the earth in front of you, lift your torso up. Come back up to a seated position. For a brief meditation practice. Once you've found your seat, commit to that seat and be still. Close your eyes and focus your mind. And using the mantra, let go, on your inhale, silently say to yourself, let. And on your exhale, silently say to yourself, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. And let go. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your hands to your heart in prayer and bowing your head slightly toward your heart. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for practicing yoga. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Todd. It's always wonderful to have you guys here. Don't forget, I always leave a donation box outside. Whatever you put in the donation box goes to the musicians we have on Wednesday night. Also, this Saturday, Jules Febre will be teaching a workshop on Saturday. There's two big things happening this weekend. One, Jules is going to be here teaching a twisting workshop. Do not miss it. It's the founder's nephew. So it's nice to have family founders, founders, members, families come and teach when they can here. Then that night, the 13th, my spiritual teacher, Sudarshan Ji, is going to be in New York City and Jersey City the 13th, he's going to be only at Jivamukti, New York City. It won't be here. There are posters out there that are announcing the event. It is a energy healing that he's doing. So there'll be like a little. He'll give a lecture, a discord, and then there'll be like a sound vibrational mantra that he will be played while you're in meditation, but then he's looking at each person and giving you energy, just like it's a Reiki healing or something like that. There are 3 Sankirtans. One is the first one in New York City, which is focused on Shiva. The second one is Sunday morning here in the Blue Room, and it will be from like 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. It's about a 3-hour session. And that one's focused on Vishnu. And then there is a third one Saturday evening after lunch, which will be focused on Narupa, or nothingness, or emptiness, or without form, so Brahman. So those 3 kirtans, you can come to any one of them. You can only do one of them if you would like. The suggestion is that you should do all 3 of them, because the energy in each one of them raises higher and higher as it goes. He is a mystic. He is a Himalayan yogi. He is one of those people who was lucky enough in his life that he was able to go. He was raised in Chennai, and at a young age, he went to the Himalayas, and he has studied under people. We don't even know their names because they don't have cell phones, they don't have Instagram accounts, they don't have websites. And so he brings a really special kind of teaching to this, and he's not very old. He's only in his 40s. He was in the business world for a while. And so he talks also in a very way that fits in with your modern life. It doesn't become, like I've been with swamis that were of a different generation, and all of a sudden it's like you're talking, you're like in the 19th century or something. He's very contemporary. He understands what you're going through and how you're having to live your life. So please come to one of those things. I'm so lucky that like I found a teacher that inspires me, but at the same time, that most people have to go to their teacher. My teacher is willing to come to me. I mean, I think that's like just like the most unbelievable thing in the world. In November, he will also be back in Jersey City. We've rented a banquet hall at the Culinary School over in Journal Square. And that event is on the door where we keep the brooms and everything, kind of in the middle between the bathrooms. And it's called Finding the Flow of Life. And it is a 2-day, like starts at 8 in the morning, goes to 6 o'clock at night. You get about a 30-minute lunch break. But it'll be the same kind of, it will be similar in that it'll be discord and a lot of teachings from the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads. And how are you dealing with modern life, and how do these ancient teachings help you in your modern life? There won't be asana. He's not an asana teacher. He's a jnana teacher. He's a bhakti teacher. He teaches knowledge and he teaches devotion. And so please, look at those things, because like I said, it's just amazing that like after I've been here 30 years in Jersey City, and this is the first time ever that we've really had like these kind of teachers come to Jersey City, even though we were so close to New York City. Like, why wouldn't they come? Because there wasn't the support network. So, and you're that support network. So support, show your interest, and maybe you'll walk away inspired by something. Either, and like I said, twisting, like I said, the founder's family coming, and then Sudarshanji coming. Be loved, be vegan. I will see you next time. I will teach again. I'm not teaching my Friday night class anymore, just so you guys know. I have an apprentice who is not with us tonight, but I'm a gentleman from South Africa who is studying under me for 6 months. He is going to take over my Friday night spiritual warrior and my Friday night open class, so he has a little class, some classes where he can practice the teachings that he has to be tested on. But you will see Bodhi with me. He's very tall, handsome guy, very sweet gentleman. and very interested to learn and get to know him, say hi to him. I mean, it's interesting to have somebody from a different country like South Africa. It's such a different culture. Like he's just much more open than we are. Like he's like a big Labrador retriever, right? And I'm like, whoa, it's New York. Don't be so friendly. You're walking around barefoot in New York City. Are you crazy? Yeah, it's really cool. I'm like, really?